You won't believe the incredible story of a duckling that imprinted on a human and thought it was its mother. This little guy followed its human mom everywhere, even to the point of getting into the car and going for rides. But what's really going on here? Is this just a cute story, or is there some actual science behind it? Well, it turns out that this duckling is experiencing something called imprinting. Imprinting is a process where a young animal forms a bond with the first moving object it sees, usually its mother, and from then on it thinks that object is its parent. This happens because when animals are born, their brains are still developing, and they don't have the ability to distinguish between different objects or creatures, so they just kind of latch onto whatever is moving around them. In the case of ducks, they imprint on their mothers within the first few hours of hatching, and from then on, they follow her everywhere. But imprinting isn't just limited to ducks. Lots of other animals experience it too, like geese, chickens, and even some species of fish. The reason imprinting is so important is because it helps young animals survive. By following their mother, they learn important skills, like how to find food, avoid predators, and migrate to new habitats. It's basically like a built-in instruction manual, and it's amazing to think that this process is hardwired into the brains of so many different species. But what's even more interesting is that imprinting isn't just about following a parent. It's also about learning social behaviors and recognizing potential mates. For example, some birds will only mate with birds that look like their parents, which is why you often see certain species pairing up with birds that have similar plumage or coloring. As we explore the science of imprinting further, we start to realize just how complex and fascinating it is, and how it plays a crucial role in the development of young animals. From the moment they hatch, these little creatures are already learning and adapting. And it's incredible to think about the journey they're on, and how imprinting is shaping their behavior and interactions with the world around them. The process of imprinting is still not fully understood, and scientists are still studying it to learn more about how it works, and what factors influence it. One of the key things scientists have discovered is that imprinting is closely tied to a critical period, which is a specific window of time when an animal is most receptive to learning and imprinting. For example, with ducklings, this critical period is usually within the first 24 hours of hatching, during which they'll imprint on the first moving object they see, which is usually their mother. But if they're separated from their mother, they might imprint on something else, like a human, which can be pretty interesting to see. This critical period is different for different species, and it's influenced by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. For instance, some animals may have an evolutionary predisposition to imprint on certain stimuli, like the sound of their mother's voice or the smell of their nest. On the other hand, environmental factors like the presence of predators or the availability of food can also shape the imprinting process. Imprinting is not just limited to visual cues either. Many animals also use auditory and olfactory cues to learn and imprint. For example, some species of birds will imprint on the songs of their parents and use those songs to recognize them later on. And with mammals like deer, they'll often imprint on the scent of their mother, which helps them to recognize her and follow her. Understanding imprinting is important, not just for learning about animal behavior, but also for conservation efforts. By recognizing how animals learn and adapt, we can develop more effective strategies for rehabilitating orphaned or injured animals and releasing them back into the wild. And that's a topic we'll be exploring in more depth in our next video, where we'll be looking at the art of animal rehabilitation and the incredible work being done by conservationists around the world. So be sure to check that out.